You will work for 50 years and still be broke, not because you weren't smart enough, not because you didn't try hard enough, but because you were lied to, programmed, conditioned from birth to follow a blueprint designed not to build you, but to break you. Wake up, work, sleep, repeat, clock in, clock out, collect your paycheck, pay your bills, start over. You call it life. But what if I told you it's a well-crafted illusion, a trap built by society, powered by fear and fueled by distraction? They never wanted you to become rich. They wanted you obedient, quiet, predictable, a cog in a machine. And somewhere deep inside, you've always felt it, that gnawing emptiness at the end of every day. That burning question you try to silence, is this all there is? You see, wealth is not found in the hours you trade. It's hidden in the value you create. The masses chase paychecks. The few create purpose. And until you understand the difference, you'll keep running in circles, faster and faster, chasing a finish line that was never meant for you. Napoleon Hill said it best, "More gold has been mined from the thoughts of men than has ever been taken from the earth." Yet schools never taught you to think. They taught you to remember, to repeat, to obey. They gave you formulas, not freedom. They gave you answers, not questions. They gave you debt, not direction. And so you followed the crowd straight into mediocrity. You chose safety over sovereignty, comfort over courage. But history has never remembered the comfortable. It remembers the rebels, the misfits, the builders, those who refused to trade their soul for a salary. Henry Ford didn't work 50 years to afford a car. He built the company that made them. Walt Disney didn't wait for someone to approve his dream. He went bankrupt twice trying to create a world no one else could see. Abraham Lincoln failed in business, lost multiple elections, suffered deep depression, and still rose to change the destiny of a nation. These men were not lucky, they were hungry. And hunger is something no paycheck can satisfy. You have it too, that fire inside, but the world has taught you to keep it quiet, to numb it with Netflix, to drown it in comfort, to sedate it with weekends and vacations. But your soul was not built for sedation. It was built for expansion. You were meant to create, to conquer, to design a life that makes you come alive, not just survive. But that requires one thing most people will never give the courage to think differently, to step off the conveyor belt, to burn the blueprint, to declare, "I was not born for this," because if you don't, mark my words, you'll blink and 50 years will pass. You'll retire with a gold watch and a pension that barely covers rent. You'll look back not with pride, but with regret. And you'll wonder what could have been. And here's the tragedy, it won't be because you weren't capable. It'll be because you were comfortable. Comfort is the slowest form of death. It doesn't stab you, it drains you. It whispers, "You're fine," until you're forgotten. But the moment you decide, truly decide, that you will not spend your life building someone else's dream, that's the moment your real life begins. Because wealth doesn't start in your bank account. It starts in your mind. If you're broke, it's not because money hates you. It's because your mind has been trained to repel it. You've been taught that money is evil, that rich people are greedy, that working hard is the path to success. But let me ask you this. How many people do you know who work harder than billionaires and are still broke? Your father worked hard. Your mother worked hard. Your grandparents worked hard, but they never escaped the struggle because hard work alone is not the answer. Clarity is, vision is, belief is. You cannot attract what you secretly resent. You cannot build what you don't believe you deserve. Until you shift your inner world, your outer world will stay stuck on repeat. You can read every book, watch every video, set every goal. But if your subconscious mind believes wealth is dangerous or success is selfish, you will sabotage yourself every single time. This is why the poor stay poor, even when they win the lottery. Why the rich keep getting richer, even when they lose it all. Because wealth is not a possession, it is a state of consciousness. And until you elevate your thinking, you will remain a prisoner of your programming. You want to be free, then start with your thoughts. Your thoughts are the seeds of your destiny. Plant fear and you grow paralysis, plant doubt and you grow hesitation. But plant faith, real, unwavering belief, and you grow mountains that move. Think of Edison, thousands of failures, no guarantees, laughed at by peers. But he saw something they couldn't, and he kept moving. That's what separates the wealthy from the wary. Not talent, not luck, vision. The poor wait to see it. The rich believe it before it exists. So the real question is, what are you seeing? Do you see bills and problems, or do you see opportunities and leverage? Do you see time as something to kill or something to invest? Because what you see, you build. And if all you've ever seen is struggle, then struggle is all you'll ever recreate until you dare to imagine something more. And imagination, Napoleon Hill reminded us, is the workshop of the soul. They don't teach you to imagine anymore. They teach you to memorize. They don't teach you to dream. They teach you to comply. But every great leap forward, from steam engines to skyscrapers, from airplanes to artificial intelligence, began in the imagination of someone who refused to accept what was. That's the difference. The average person adapts to reality. The wealthy reshape it. You were born with that same power. The power to choose your thoughts, to control your inner world, to reject the programming and install a new operating system, one based on purpose, on passion, on intention. But let's be clear, this path isn't easy. It's not glamorous. And most of the time, it's not applauded. When you step off the conveyor belt, you become a threat to those still riding it. They will mock your ambition. They will scoff at your vision. They will tell you, get real, be practical, don't be foolish. But remember this, every revolutionary looked like a fool before they became a genius. When Elon Musk bet everything on rockets, they laughed. When Oprah spoke about belief in energy, they mocked. When Napoleon Hill published Think and Grow Rich, they dismissed it as fantasy. Yet today, their names are etched into the story of human achievement. Because they understood something most never will. Wealth is not earned by the hour. It's earned by the inch. In the mind, in the soul, in the persistence to hold your vision longer than the world holds its doubt. You say you want success, but do you have the emotional stamina to be misunderstood, to walk alone when no one claps, to keep building when nothing is working yet? Because that is the true cost, not money, not time, but faith, the unshakable kind, the kind that stands tall when everything else crumbles. There's a reason most people never become wealthy. It's not because the system is unfair, though it is. It's not because they lack intelligence, though many waste it. It's because they never make the internal shift. They believe life happens to them instead of realizing they can create it. They wait for permission, when history only remembers those who gave themselves the authority. So stop waiting. Stop waiting for the boss to notice. Stop waiting for the economy to improve. Stop waiting for the right time, the perfect idea, or the sign from the universe. The sign is this: you're alive. You're breathing. You're capable. And if you don't make something of your life, no one else will do it for you. Let me be direct. No one is coming to save you. No boss, no government, no miracle. You will either take ownership of your future, or you will become a statistic of regret. It's that simple. 50 years will pass. And on that final day, when you're no longer chasing promotions or living for the weekend, only one question will matter. Did you build your life, or did you just survive it? Did you create wealth that outlives you? Or did you trade your soul for comfort and call it a career? You were not born to be broke. You were born to become a force of nature, a walking embodiment of purpose, power, and prosperity. But that will not happen by default. It only happens by design. So take inventory of your life, every habit, every belief, every assumption. Ask yourself, is this taking me closer to freedom or chaining me to the familiar? Because familiar is seductive. It's warm. It's predictable. But it is also deadly, and your dreams will die there quietly, slowly, politely, unless you rip them out and place them where they belong, in the driver's seat of your destiny. This is not a pep talk. This is a wake-up call, a call to rise, to rebel against average, to renounce the curse of working 50 years and dying broke. Because the truth is this: you were never meant to work your whole life just to afford it. You were meant to create a life so bold, so abundant, that generations will feel the ripple. Do you want to know what separates the man who dies broke from the one who builds a legacy? It's not luck. It's not privilege. It's alignment. Alignment of thought. Alignment of belief. Alignment of action. Most people wake up and react. They react to alarms, to notifications, to opinions, to bills. Their entire life is a knee-jerk response to pressure, external, constant crushing. But the wealthy, they initiate. They design their day with intention. They move from vision, not emotion. They know that the morning is not just a time, it's a weapon. And the mind, when directed with clarity and repetition, becomes a magnet for miracles. But you've got to do more than read quotes, more than feel motivated for a few hours. You've got to rewire your nervous system. You've got to reprogram the fear out of your DNA. Because fear is not just an emotion, it's an anchor. It tells you stay small, be careful, don't stand out, don't risk. And every time you listen, every time you obey that whisper of hesitation, you bury your destiny deeper underground. You want financial freedom. You must first earn emotional freedom. Freedom from guilt, freedom from generational trauma, freedom from the voice that says, you're not good enough. Because wealth is never just about money, it's about identity. You will never out-earn the story you believe about yourself. If you see yourself as a struggler, a hustler, a survivor, you will subconsciously create struggle, hustle, and survival. But if you decide deep in your bones that you are worthy of abundance, of impact, of freedom, the universe bends. Because belief is not passive. Belief commands reality. Thomas Edison didn't believe in failure. He believed in feedback. Every burned filament was not a mistake. It was a step. Every dark room was not defeat. It was direction. That's the mindset that built the light bulb and lit the world. And yet today, people fear one rejection. One no, one setback. They treat it like the end. But if you could only see what's on the other side of that rejection, you would sprint toward it. You would beg to fail faster. You would embrace discomfort like a sacred ritual, because discomfort is the birthplace of dominance. You don't build muscles in comfort. You don't build legacies in safety. And you damn sure don't build wealth by doing what everyone else does. You want to escape the 50-year trap. Then you need to stop thinking like someone trapped. You need to make decisions like a millionaire before the money arrives. Wake up early before success demands it. Invest in yourself before it's comfortable. Take the risk before you're ready. Because if you only move when it's safe, you'll never move at all. And if you only act when it's easy, you'll die with potential unfulfilled. Most men live quiet lives of desperation. They wear the mask. They play the part. They laugh at the jokes. But inside they are screaming. Screaming to be seen. Screaming to be more. Screaming for someone, anyone, to give them permission. But permission never comes. And so they settle. They shrink, they endure. But you, if you've listened this far, you are not most men. You are the one who woke up. And now you can't go back. You've seen behind the curtain. You've felt the calling. And no paycheck, no pension, no polite applause will ever silence that fire again. Good, now burn the blueprint they gave you. Burn the lie that says 50 years of work is the price of security. Burn the identity that says wealth is for them, not you. Because this is the truth. The only thing standing between you and the life you were born to live is the version of you that's too afraid to claim it. Kill him. Bury him today. And in his place build a man who doesn't beg for change. He creates it. From this day forward, you do not ask for permission. You declare your direction. You do not wait to be chosen. You choose yourself. You stop outsourcing your self-worth to companies, to jobs, to paychecks. You stop trading your time for survival. You start trading your energy for impact, because that's the currency of true wealth, impact. Not how many hours you worked, not how many boxes you checked, but how many lives you changed, including your own. Understand this. The universe does not reward effort alone. It rewards alignment. Effort without alignment is struggle, but effort fueled by purpose, that's power. That's unstoppable. And the man who discovers his purpose is more dangerous than 1,000 who merely work hard. So what is your purpose? To pay rent, to make ends meet, to impress people who don't even remember your name? No, you were born to awaken, to rise, to rip through the illusions and live a life of magnitude. But that will require sacrifice, the sacrifice of your excuses, the sacrifice of comfort, the sacrifice of who you were, so you can become who you must be. You will lose people. You will lose approval. You will lose parts of yourself that were never meant to survive this journey. But what you gain will shake the earth. The man who refuses to settle becomes the man the world cannot ignore. And the world needs that man right now, because too many are asleep. Too many are pretending. Too many are one more paycheck away from collapse. They need someone to go first, someone to break the cycle, someone to prove that it can be done differently. Let that someone be you. Let them say, he was the one who broke the mold. He was the one who rose when everyone else folded. He was the one who didn't just work 50 years. He built something that lasted 500 dies. You think that's impossible. Then you don't know your own power yet. Because inside you is the same blood that ran through Edison's veins, through Carnegie's hands, through Lincoln's heart. You are not ordinary. You are not average. You are not some cog in a system. You are a creator, a builder, a thinker, a doer, a force. And the only thing more terrifying than living with risk is living with regret. So take the risk. Bet on yourself. Trade your fear for fire. Trade your someday for now. The clock is ticking, not just the one on your desk, but the one in your soul. And it's counting down second by second, waiting for you to decide. You can keep working, keep surviving, keep following the script they handed you at birth. Or you can tear it up, write your own, author your own story, build your own future. Because no one ever became rich by accident, and no one ever escaped mediocrity by doing what was easy. So what will it be? Another year, another raise, another decade in the system. Or the moment you draw a line in the sand and say, this ends with me. I will not be the man who works 50 years and dies broke. I will be the man who wakes up and builds an empire. And what is an empire, really? It's not castles. It's not crowns. It's not a name etched in stone. An empire is influence. It's the legacy you leave behind when you no longer have to speak. It's the children who grow up fearless because you proved it could be done. It's the strangers who take a different path because they saw you do it first. It's the ripple effect of one soul who refused to live asleep. You don't build that with a resume. You don't build that by clocking in and clocking out. You build that by deciding. You build that by confronting every lie you've ever believed about who you are and what you're worth. You build that by standing in the fire and not flinching. The world doesn't need more workers. It doesn't need more polite men. It doesn't need more followers. It needs builders of vision. It needs warriors of purpose. It needs men who are more committed to truth than comfort. So I ask you again, will you work 50 years and still be broke? Not just financially, but spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Will you wear the mask until it becomes your skin? Or will you rip it off and say, I don't care who I lose, I will not lose myself? Because your life is not measured in promotions. It's not measured in retirement funds. It's not measured in how well you fit into the system. It's measured in moments of courage. In the seconds where you chose growth over comfort. In the mornings you rose before the sun and said, this is the day I build. And those days, they are yours. No boss can take them. No failure can erase them. They become part of your soul, part of your legacy. You think it's too late. Then tell that to the man who started his business at 60. Tell that to the mother who rose from poverty to build an empire from her kitchen. Tell that to the man who walked out of prison and wrote his name in history. It's not too late. It was never too late. It was just waiting on you. So go ahead, burn the map they gave you. Draw your own. Follow the fire in your gut, even if no one else sees it, especially if no one else sees it, because that's how revolutions begin, not with applause, not with certainty, but with one person who dares to say, there's more to life than this. And now it's your turn to rise, your turn to build, your turn to become the man who will never again trade his soul for security. Because this is the truth they never told you. The system wasn't built for your freedom, but you were. You were built to create, you were built to lead, you were built to become. So stop waiting, stop hesitating, stop dying in slow motion. Get up, break the chains, and show the world what happens when a man finally decides to live. You will not work 50 years and die broke. You will live awake, you will build with fire, and you will die empty, because you gave the world everything you had, and that is wealth, that is freedom, that is legacy, and it begins right now. And now, here you are, standing at the edge of a decision that will shape your entire future. Not tomorrow, not next year now, because life doesn't change with time, it changes with choice. The man who lives in chains is not the one behind bars, it's the one who refuses to choose. You think working 50 years will buy you freedom. No, working 50 years without direction only buys you regret. It buys you a chair in a retirement home, staring at a window, wondering where your fire went. It buys you a life of what ifs. What if I had started? What if I had spoken up? What if I had believed in myself just once? But let me tell you something the world is afraid to say. You don't get second chances at life. This isn't a dress rehearsal. This is the stage. The lights are on. The curtain is up. And whether you perform or not, the show will go on. So are you going to be a spectator of your own life? Or will you step into it? You don't have to know every step. You just have to know the next one. The next bold move. The next hard decision. The next moment where you say, I will not live like this another day. Because all transformation begins with a single declaration. I am done being who they told me to be. You don't need another diploma. You don't need another guru. You need courage. And courage doesn't come dressed in confidence. It comes shaking. It comes afraid. But it comes anyway. You want wealth. Then earn it in your decisions. You want freedom. Then take it. Don't wait for it. You want impact. Then stop playing small and start moving. This world was built by people no smarter than you. People who bled, people who failed, people who were mocked, doubted, betrayed, and still built anyway. So what's stopping you? Is it fear of failure? Failure is part of the fee. Is it fear of judgment? Let them talk. You're building. Is it fear of loss? Understand this: what you don't risk, you already lost. You're not safe clinging to comfort. You're dying quietly in it. You just haven't noticed yet. Because numbness feels like peace, but it's not. Real peace only comes from growth. From knowing that today you pushed forward. From knowing that you didn't betray yourself again. You want a powerful life. Then live one worth remembering. Turn your mornings into rituals. Turn your discipline into armor. Turn your beliefs into steel. Because that is how you walk through fire untouched. That is how you walk into rooms and own them. That is how you wake up with fire in your chest while others wake up with dread. You were not built to blend in. You were built to rise, to roar, to stand before this world, look it dead in the eye, and say, "Watch me." Let them sleep. Let them doubt. Let them keep asking how you did it while you're doing it, because no one can stop a man who has decided. He becomes a storm, a movement, an unstoppable force of vision and belief. He doesn't beg for wealth. He commands it. He doesn't chase success. He becomes the kind of man success chases. And if you ever forget who you are, remember this: you come from a lineage of giants, of kings, of warriors who carved their names into the bones of history. Your blood carries fire. Your mind carries gold. And your soul was born for more than just survival. It was born for dominion. So stop making excuses. Stop shrinking. Stop wasting your breath on conversations that don't build your destiny. Look in the mirror and meet your maker, because the world will not give you more until you demand more from yourself. And one last thing, understand that time is not loyal. It will not wait for you. It will not apologize when it's gone. You will not get these years back. You will not get this chance again. So use it. Build like you're running out of days, because you are. Build like your children are watching, because they are. Build like the world needs your light, because it does. Build like heaven is cheering and hell is panicking, because they are. And if you do that, if you truly decide that enough is enough, that this is the moment, that this is your line in the sand, then no amount of fear, no critic, no setback will ever be able to stop you again. You will rise, and you will leave behind a life so loud that not even death can silence it. Let them work for 50 years. Let them chase the illusion. You'll own the factory. You'll own the blueprint. Because the man who chooses himself, who chooses now, he never dies broke. He dies immortal. And now we arrive at the moment of truth. Not the kind that comes from books. Not the kind that comes from motivational speeches or temporary highs. But the kind that comes when you sit quietly with yourself, strip away all the noise, and ask one brutal, honest question: am I really living, or am I just existing? Because you can fake it for the world. You can dress it up with a title, a car, a paycheck, a smile. But you cannot lie to your soul. It knows. It always knows. You feel it in the silence. When the notifications stop. When the lights go out. When you're left alone with the raw truth of who you are and what you've done with your time here. And maybe that's the scariest part of all, knowing that despite the effort, despite the struggle, despite the hours you've sacrificed, you're still not free. You've been busy, but not bold. You've been active, but not aligned. You've been working, but not awakening. And if you're not careful, you'll wake up one day with a calendar full of to-do lists and a heart full of what might have been. So let me tell you something that could change everything. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are simply distracted. You've been hypnotized by the lie that says more hours equals more success. You've been sold the illusion that if you just grind harder, your life will magically improve. But grind without clarity is slavery. Hustle without vision is just noise. It is not how much you do, it is how aligned you are when you do it. You can climb the ladder of success for 50 years and still realize it was leaning against the wrong wall the whole time. And here's the part no one tells you. Most people won't realize it until it's too late. They'll wake up at 65 with a watch, a pension, and a worn-out soul. They'll wonder where the time went, why the fire is gone, why the world moved on without them. They won't remember the meetings. They won't remember the overtime. They'll remember the moments they never gave themselves permission to chase, the dreams left untouched, the fire left unlit, the greatness left buried. But you have a chance right now, right here, right in this moment, before the next hour slips into history, to choose differently, to live loudly, to stop asking the world to validate your worth and start proving it to yourself. Because no one's going to save you. Not your boss, not the government, not your family, not some magical opportunity falling into your lap. You're not waiting for a miracle. You're waiting to believe that you are the miracle. And once you see that, really see it, everything changes. You no longer chase money. You attract it. You no longer beg for chances. You create them. You no longer walk around waiting for someone to notice your potential. You own your power. And suddenly the same world that ignored you can't stop watching. But this doesn't come from wishing. It doesn't come from watching another video or writing another goal. It comes from war. War with the old you. War with the lies. War with the excuses. War with every habit, every thought, every small version of you that dares to stand between you and destiny. It is time to declare that this ends with you. This cycle of mediocrity. This legacy of survival. This generational pattern of playing it small. It ends now. And what begins? Everything. The life that was waiting on the other side of your fear. The impact that was hiding behind your hesitation. The wealth that was buried beneath your wounded self-image. You are not here to be average. You are not here to die with potential still locked inside of you. You are here to build, to ignite, to lead. You are here to trade ordinary for legendary. But make no mistake, this road will cost you. It will cost you your comfort. It will cost you your laziness. It will cost you your excuses. You will lose things. You will lose people. You will lose the version of yourself that was easy to love but hard to respect. And in its place, something greater will rise. A man forged in clarity, a mind armored in purpose, a soul unshakable in belief, a creator, a commander, a king, and the world. The world won't understand you at first. They'll call you obsessed. They'll say you've changed. Good. Let them talk while you build. Let them laugh while you create. Let them watch while you rise. Because soon, the same people who doubted you will ask how you did it, and you'll smile. Not with arrogance, but with truth. You'll say, F's, I stopped waiting. I stopped wishing. I stopped working for 50 years just to die broke. I woke up and I took my life back. And that will be your real wealth. Not just money in the bank, but fire in your chest, peace in your soul, and legacy in your name. The kind of legacy no one can steal. The kind that whispers through generations. He was the one who broke the cycle. He was the one who didn't settle. He was the one who chose freedom. So now the choice is yours. You can click off this video, go back to your normal life, and let the fire fade. Or you can do something. You can write the first page of the life you were meant to live. And if you feel that pull in your gut, that electricity in your veins, that quiet roar saying, I was made for more, then don't you dare walk away from it again. Answer it. Act on it. Become it. This world needs men on fire, not more employees, not more followers, not more noise. It needs you, fully awake, fully alive, fully committed to never again wasting another second living someone else's idea of success. So let's make this official. Raise your standards. Raise your mindset. Raise your hand and declare, I will not work 50 years and die broke. I will become the one who builds the future. Because you weren't born to be forgotten. You were born to leave a legacy so powerful, it will echo long after your final breath. Now get to work.